Hello, I'm Marco Castellana, VP Products of Azure AI. Welcome to our session at the Ability Summit, where we're going to have a look at AI for accessibility. Well, I'm joined by some amazing folks here today. So we have Martine Betteray from Seaboard. We have Perry Nightingale from WPP and Teresa Wong from our Xbox certification team. And today, we're going to show you how AI makes the world more accessible for everyone. But first, I'd like to show you how AI makes the world more accessible for me. I have a minor visual challenge in that I am red-green colorblind. And the other day, I came across this infographic here, which I can't really read or make sense of because all of these lines are distinguished by color. Furthermore, I've been typing a lot lately and my arm has been kind of bothering me. And so one of the things I've been doing is using the speech to text feature that's built into Windows, like this. How has the use of color changed over time? I can submit this question to AI, which is able to see this graphic. And with just that, it's able to give me a synopsis of what this graphic says about how the use of colors changed in these Coca-Cola ads. This stuff is amazing, and that's just the beginning. Now I'd like to pass it to Martine Betteray, who uses one of our voices as his voice.
The first thing I would like to say is thanks for your consideration with our project. We are an open source project and we are always open to collaborate with other people who have good ideas to improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. So thank you all. Hi, my name is Martine Betteray and I am one of the co-founders of Seaboard. I can't speak well due to my disease. I was diagnosed with ALS 8 years ago, so I will use Seaboard to do the presentation. That is why you hear my voice so nice and beautiful. It is also a great demonstration of what is the mission of the project. The story of Seaboard is a story about helping people with disabilities, and that is also including me, as I am myself a person who needs a lot of help from others since my ALS diagnosis. ALS is a disease that affects the motor neurons, and in time, you start to lose the ability to control your muscles, including ability to speak. To give you a quick reference, it is the same disease that affected to Stephen Hawking, but the difference is that I am more intelligent than him. I wish. At that time, I was suddenly introduced to a new world of disabilities, and as a good engineer, I found a world of technology challenges. I learned that there was a great field in the world of speech therapy called augmentative and alternative communication. Augmentative and alternative communication includes all modes of communication used to express thoughts, needs, wants, and ideas. We all use this type of communication when we use gestures, facial expressions, symbols, illustrations, or writing. I think that communication is the most important ability for humans. Language shapes your mind. When I started to lose my ability to speak, I started to think differently. I found myself being less social. That was something that I could handle as I was conscious of my loss. But what about children with autism or cerebral palsy who are prevented from talking from the very beginning of life? In 2017, I found a project in GitHub that was created a few months ago by an Israeli developer called Shay Kojokaru. The system was quite simple at that time, just a front-end app with the basic functions of an AAC system, but the technology stack was modern and allowed to grow the code base to expand Seaboard for multiple languages and multiple platforms. We got in touch and started to collaborate. I looked for funds for the project and applied to the UNICEF Innovation Fund. We were granted initial funding and then the Seaboard journey began. Today, after almost 7 years, we have 50,000 users around the world. We did several pilots in countries where a high-tech AAC solution was not available, and we have worked with Microsoft, UNICEF, and many country governments to provide an open, multi-language, browser-based, and multi-platform AAC solution. We are currently a small team of 6 people, but we have a large community on Seaboard. We receive collaboration not only from developers but also from speech therapists, parents, patients, and others who are involved in the field of speech difficulties. Communication is the main objective of our project. Seaboard is a technology-based alternative way to communicate that is suitable for children and adults with speech and language impairments. It is a multi-platform app that uses symbols and text-to-speech to aid communication. Seaboard can be used to develop language in children with pathological conditions like autism, cerebral palsy, or Down syndrome. For adults, it can be used to combine the use of symbols with fixed sentences along with free-writing sentences to help achieve more fluid speech. The system allows for a high level of customization, enabling users to copy, paste, share, resize, and edit boards to meet the specific needs of the patient. We leverage the web and cloud infrastructure to offer a wide range of symbols, public boards, downloads, and neural voices, such as the one I am using right now. Seaboard supports 46 languages at present, and most of the translations and proofreading are provided by the open source community. We have translations from small countries with non-popular languages where there has never been an AAC solution available. For example, we deployed Seaboard in a small country called Timor-Leste. They speak a native language called Tetum, and we have been working with native people in order to complete the translations to the Tetum language. Thanks to Microsoft's grant of AI for accessibility and the support of the UNICEF's local office, we were able to conduct a pilot in Timor-Leste. The goal was to make the solution ready to scale up at the country level. A mid-pilot in-person evaluation occurred in October, featuring observations within the participating schools. We are really happy about this work as we were able to provide a solution for children with disabilities for an entire country that never had an AAC system available. This highlights the importance of an open-source solution for people with disabilities. We believe that our application should be inclusive and accessible regardless of country or language. Now, let me tell you how we are using artificial intelligence to enhance Seaboard and offer new features to get a more fluid speech. As part of the goals supported by the Microsoft's grant, last year we introduced a new AI-powered feature designed to assist users in constructing sentences using pictograms. By analyzing user inputs and the context of their message, the AI suggests a phrase according to pictograms and word combinations, making it easier for individuals to form coherent and meaningful sentences. This feature empowers individuals with communication disabilities by providing them with a more efficient and supportive tool for constructing sentences, enabling them to express themselves more clearly and meaningfully. To build this enhancement, we use Azure OpenAI API. It was really simple and straightforward to implement. We were able to pilot this with patients and professionals quickly after the initial deployment. The results show that with AI assistance, users can construct sentences more quickly and efficiently, reducing the time it takes to convey their thoughts and feelings. Moreover, in the case of children, the AI feature is designed to grow alongside the user's language development. It can introduce new vocabulary and sentence structures, facilitating language growth and ensuring that children can express themselves in increasingly complex ways. I can show you how this feature works using a core board. A core board is a special type of board that contains a specific set of words called core vocabulary. The idea behind core vocabulary is that an AAC user can communicate using these words to express their needs and feelings. This approach has been proven effective, especially with children, because they can incorporate new words into their vocabulary gradually. By improving the phrases that the child is trying to build using a core board, we can provide additional information to help them incorporate new words and provide better clarity and meaning to their communication.
To go. Fast. Bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom quickly. She. To wait. Large. She waited a long time.
Artificial intelligence can be of great help to both patients and professionals who assist them. Communication boards used in augmentative and alternative communication (AAC) systems are typically created by special educators and speech therapists. However, creating these boards is a time-consuming task since each user requires specific boards tailored to their individual needs, pathology, environment, and so on. To simplify this process for professionals, we propose to the Microsoft Accessibility team to develop a new tool that leverages artificial intelligence to create AAC boards. Using Azure AI Studio and OpenAI model, we are developing the first AI board builder. The tool operates by entering basic information about the board's dimensions and writing a prompt about the board's purpose. The tool then generates a board with relevant vocabulary and symbols or pictograms for each word or sentence. Furthermore, the tool allows for the creation of AI-based pictograms when the generated word does not match any existing image in the pictograms database. This new tool can save valuable time for professionals who frequently create boards for their patients. Thanks to the support of the Microsoft Accessibility team, we are about to launch this new tool that relies on Azure services to provide the language and image generation models. Okay, that would be all I got for my presentation. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or comments about Seaboard or any other project. Our mission is every day to improve people with disabilities' lifestyles by returning the voice to all those who have lost it. We are sure that technology can empower people with disabilities. In my personal experience, having a disability has taught me to collaborate and support others. It has made me realize that the challenges I face are also faced by many others, and by working together, we can find solutions. Thank you once again for your time.
Well, thank you so much, Martine. You are doing some incredible work there at Seaboard. Next, I'd like to take a look at how the international advertising and public relations firm WPP is using AI to help creative folks express their ideas. One example of that is audio descriptions of videos. For people who can't see video images, this function can help them understand what's going on in the video by describing it. Let's take a look.
I'm Matt. I work for Satalia, a WPP company. In this demo, we are exploring how GPT-4 with Vision can enhance accessibility in advertising. We are working with Unilever on the Super Bowl ad, Meerkat. This is the start of our user flow. Next, we move to analyze. Before creating captions, we need to understand the video, the relevance to the audience, and the key brand and product callouts. We use GPT-4 with Vision to understand storytelling, brand identity, and product representation. This information informs our model's view, which we refer back to later. We use vocal audio segmentation to break the video down into chunks, the chunks which we want to add the text-to-speech to. Once we have the segments, we generate highly detailed descriptions of what is happening in each of the video windows. Here we observe a comic book strip style display of the video segments, with the rich descriptions below. These descriptions capture what is happening visually within the clip. It captures all of the accessibility, brand and product information that we want to produce. Next, I'll show you a snippet of the audio described video for the Hellmann's Meerkat ad.
View from fridge. Person rummaging.
Leftover chicken, scallions, cheese. What am I going to make with this?
Fluffy cat observes.
Mayo.
Fridge open.
Hellmann's.
Jar in fridge.
Holy, you can talk.
Our app also allows you to customize the final output using the best of Azure. We like this tech because it gives us full visual comprehension. It can read key information, written signs, magazines, or call to actions, which impaired audiences might not be able to enjoy. I'll show you my favourite one now. The running theme of the ad is that Meerkat is famous, and the cat has a humorous relationship with a celebrity, Pete Davidson. Here the system generates the caption, "Cat dumps Davidson headline." So in this caption, we can demonstrate running jokes and messages and make callouts as required. This helps build a more inclusive experience for both audiences and brands. To close, GPT-4 with Vision is a real leader in this space and is constantly giving us new ideas on how to reinvent what we do.
Well, that's pretty amazing. And to talk more about how AI is used in creative settings, I'd like to pass it to Perry Nightingale, the SVP of Creative AI at WPP. Perry?
Okay, fantastic. Okay, and that was really inspiring, Martine, with Seaboard as well. WPP is one of the largest creative companies in the world. We have about 110,000 people, and because of that, we're one of the largest buyers of creative software in the world. And my role is to think about the future ways that people are going to use that software to make work. My role is to differentiate WPP through the tools that we use. And obviously, generative AI has been a huge opportunity for us to rethink the way that we make work. I've been working in the accessibility and creativity space for a number of years with Microsoft. Back in 2020, I did a lot of work around bringing, more opportunities for the disability community to make work at WPP. This is an artist I worked with ALS for a while. She actually is an eye gaze artist and works very closely with Microsoft on technology that allows her to create with her eyes. And the symbol of the work we did with her around that time was this unbelievably beautiful parrot that she drew. This is my parrot, which is a demonstration of my drawing skills. And I think it's a really good example that creativity is really a gift, right? It's definitely something you can learn and get really great at a young age, but these gifts for being a brilliant illustrator or brilliant photographer stay with us for our whole lives. And my role is to think very carefully about how technology can make us better creatives ultimately. This is what I did to fix my drawing skills around about that time. I used AI to make portraits of people, and this was in 2018, 2019 I was doing this work. So I would take old paintings and pictures of people in the office or pictures of clients, and I would combine them to create these little masterpieces of them, and they were handed out as gifts for large clients at WPP. And that actually got me my job. So, Google, I think it was, emailed the CTO and said, have someone in one of the agencies who, we believe has the answer to making much more work at scale. And so, I started working with Microsoft on applying these tools to advertising. This was that project that I did first of all. So in 2020, I worked with Microsoft and the Surface team on how AI could be a partner in the creative process. And look at how we make ads more real than those sort of impressionist paintings that I used to do. So this was trained on 20,000 photos of parrots. This was for an NGO called Wild Aid that campaigns against wildlife trafficking. So each parrot has a little map, and the AI learns the relationship between the map and the parrot, and it basically allows you to draw, effectively kind of draw new shapes and get new birds back. This is a glimpse of what making work at WPP is going to look like in 4 or 5 years' time when we kind of have these devices. But interestingly, these tools are actually a big part of the way we make work today. So whenever we design products or whenever we come up with ideas for ads, we actually use these tools, right? So in less than 3 or 4 years, these technologies have actually become really embedded in the way that we work. So, I have a very fun job, but I'm very busy. That's kind of how this works. You can see how beautiful some of these images are. Obviously though, because it's AI, you get to look at parrots that couldn't have existed in the real world. So you get to see square ones and you get to see perfectly circular ones as well. This was actually a big reason this one, why NVIDIA wanted to work with us so closely going forward. So they absolutely loved this as a data visualization idea. But I really wanted to use this example, even though it's a bit old, and it's been massively superseded by, DALL-E and, Midjourney and these tools. It still shows what I think creative AI and generative AI means for the creative industries and in fact the disability community as well. We see these technologies as enhancing human artists. There are very, very few people at WPP who can paint as beautifully as that on the right hand side, and I'm definitely not one of those people. And I think these tools are here to enhance the work we do and not replace the work we do. And that is actually something we see happening across our organization. In fact, the people who are least worried about losing their jobs to AI are the creators and artists themselves, who are using these tools day in, day out to make their work better. And the other thing I just want to touch on to finish is that I don't think we should see, AI and accessibility tools as something that should be purely functional. I think Seaboard is used as a creative tool, and I think it's a fantastic creative tool. And I think we shouldn't relegate creativity to a nice to have in the accessibility conversation. Creativity and expression are a fundamental human right. And these tools, number one, allow you to get a job in a place like WPP, but more crucially, they allow you to express how you're feeling and have pride in yourself in your day. And that is priceless. It is as priceless as, being able to step onto a tube train or take a lift somewhere. It's very, very important to be able to be creative. And I've sort of dedicated my life to seeing more people get those kind of opportunities. I think as you hear later about gaming, that's another area that it's so important that we allow everybody to have a chance to contribute. I'll pass back to Marco. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Perry. That is some amazing stuff. Now, I'm a gamer. I love my games, but what I love even more is making gaming more accessible to all using AI. And to show that to you from our Xbox division, here's Teresa Wong.
Thanks, Marco. My name is Teresa Wong. I'm a senior technical program manager from the Xbox certification team. And as Perry said earlier, we want to empower everyone to achieve more. Our mission at Team Xbox is to bring the joy and community of gaming to everyone. And we focus on bringing intentional, inclusive practices and thinking to everything that we do. Gaming for everyone is our commitment to make Xbox a place where everyone have fun. What do we do at MGATS, this Microsoft Gaming Accessibility Testing Service? Well, we first launched in February 2021, and we offer developers and publishers a way to help them validate the accessibility of their games, get feedback from players with disabilities and subject matter experts to understand perhaps what accessibility tags apply to their game, and the gamers can find their games based on these tags. And we include confidential accessibility testing conducted here in Redmond, Washington. Since launch, we have tested more than 280 submissions of Xbox and PC games against the Xbox Accessibility Guidelines. These guidelines were developed in partnership with industry experts and the gaming and disability community. And it acts as a checklist to help ensure games are inclusive for those with disabilities. Let's take a closer look. We have a lot of games with a lot of tags. This slide here shows you that there are about 20 tags in total, a ton of accessibility guidelines that may match to them. And our games are so full of content, very rich, very dynamic. And each test pass takes us over 200 hours. And if you want to know more about the details of these tags and guidelines, there are links on this slide that I put up, aka.ms/AFTS and aka.ms/XAGS. Let's take a look. And the next slide is an example of a game that I mocked up. It's called Space Cowboy. Awesome game. And what we want to show is look at the tiny text. One of the guidelines that our tester tests diligently on is related to font size. On Xbox console, it is recommended that font size should be equal or exceed 26 pixel at 1080p and 52 pixel at 4K. These tiny texts are just 6 pixels short. Our tester would measure very diligent, look very close using tools, and log bugs against each of these findings. And another example on the next slide is also Space Cowboy. Space Cowboy, and right here, another bit of tiny text. And now this time, the tiny text is against a really dark background. So the contrast is even so low and hard for our tester to read. With so many texts throughout a game, so many different placement possible, horizontal, diagonal, our creators are very creative. Different font size, font style against different background. Here are some pictures to show you of the tiny text throughout different games. They may not be tiny, we still have to measure it. So testers have a high quality standard to meet. We aim to catch 95% of all potential issues. Imagine how challenging it is for a tester, day in and day out in the lab, meticulously measuring font size, and we have to do it within 2 pixel accuracy. And this is just way too much game content for any test team to take on effectively. We have an opportunity here. We have opportunity to consider how AI can help and be the tool to help us be more productive and to help us to do the work easier. Imagine a tool that help us study the games that we test in the past and then accurately detect different areas that needs to have accessible text display. Maybe the menu screens, text chat, subtitles, error messages, and more. And once these areas are detected, now imagine the AI tool that could detect and measure the font size, font style, the text spacing, the text case, and alignment. We believe there's an opportunity for technology to empower and transform the important work that we do at MGAT's team. While the earlier example shows just about text size, the work that we do at MGATS is more than that. We cover a range of different accessibility needs for our players that include, for example, players with low or no vision, limited reach or strength, neurodiversity, and more. And this picture shows our team of player with disability testers right here in Redmond, Washington, that are part of the team to help us test the games. AI will help and give them tools for checking the text display so that they can spend even more time playing the game itself, going deeper into the game, and further test against other guidelines. For example, testing, hey, is there progressive save option throughout the game? How about no quick time events? How about having subtitle throughout and more? With AI innovations, we have an opportunity to support the MGATS team positively and transform the way that we work. We continue to provide actionable feedback to developers and publishers to make the games more accessible. When everybody plays, we all win. Thanks everyone for your time. For more information about MGATS, please feel free to email me, Teresa Wong at Microsoft.com, and also check out our website at aka.ms/MGATS. Now back to Marco.
Well, thank you, Teresa. So you've seen how I myself use AI to make my life easier. Martin and Seaboard are using it to help himself and people like him find their voices. Perry and WPP are using it to help creative people find their vision and express their ideas. AI is an incredible tool for accessibility, and this is not just in the future. This is here today. It's all available in Azure AI. On the screen and in the deck that we'll share, you'll find a link to a sign up if you're interested in trying that audio description functionality we showed earlier. Also on the screen and in the deck, you'll find a link to our blog post about the many different ways that we're enabling the use of AI in accessibility. Thank you all for joining us today.